Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are doing well after the lunar eclipse. I don't know if anybody experienced that or felt anything, but it was just last night. I caught a couple pictures of it because it was super awesome. We got like a blood moon for the lunar eclipse. I keep wanting to say solar. Lunar eclipse, and I'm feeling it. I'm so just like I'm pretty much ready for bed, but something came to me today, and I wanted to talk about it because it's kind of definitely something that's been going on in my current experience, my current reality, and with my growth. And it was, who is running the show? Which part of yourself is running your day-to-day life? Who's running the show? Is it your higher self, your guided, healed, learned self? Or is it the wounded kid inside? The reason why I'm asking this is because this is something that's been coming up in my life and in my personal experience, and I have definitely been being run by the kid, by the wounded inner child in me. And what that's led to has honestly led to a lot of addictive behavior. A lot of addictive behavior that, you could pass off as just like, oh, that's just normal, right? Binge eating, scrolling through social media, watching Netflix, or playing video games, anything to escape my current reality. Now, why I thought this was intriguing is because these are all coping mechanisms that I used when I was a kid, when I did not like what was going on in my physical reality. Was addictive behavior, was hiding, was disconnecting, right? Like almost disassociating and disconnecting from my current reality because I didn't want to experience it, whatever. I won't go too much into it, but I had a pretty scary childhood. I was actually kidnapped when I was 6. Parents were divorced at 3, so there's a lot of conflict in the house and a lot of violence, honestly. But I used these coping mechanisms to escape, to disconnect. And so I figured out that I've actually been letting the kid inside of me run the show. Now, granted, these coping mechanisms may have worked to keep me safe and survive as a kid, as a 6-year-old. But now, as I'm turning 30 this year, those probably aren't the best things. And so I kind of wanted to talk about, that, who's running the show, and how can we fix that? How can we remedy that? Once you can figure out who is running the show, and usually that takes some introspection, maybe journaling, meditating, just really kind of digging in and going deep and figuring out who is running the show. Are your actions guided and for your benefit, your higher evolution, right? Are you eating the right things? Are you drinking enough water? Are you going outside? Are you meditating? Are you doing anything that's healthy for you? Or are you hiding? Are you playing small? Are you lying just to get out of trouble? Are you overeating? Are you over screen timing? Are you addicting to something? And it doesn't have to be straight. It doesn't have to be intense as drugs or alcohol, but those definitely can be, for sure. Those are extreme cases, as well as like sex and masturbation. Those are totally different, total viable options as well. But with this, how do we heal this? Right? Well, some say it's like, whoa, heal the inner child. It's like, yeah, but what does that mean? What does it mean to heal the inner child? Now, there are things like, you can, I've mentioned it before, you can do things that do, relate to your inner child, right? Like maybe picking up an old habit or an old hobby, an old passion, drawing, singing, dancing, playing. For me, it's playing video games. I still like video games, listening to certain music, singing or dancing, or just letting myself do the things that I used to do. Right? Those are all well and good, and those are all definitely remedies and certain things that you would want to do and continue to practice. But I feel like there's a deeper level to it, and it's really connecting with your inner child, right? Because as I mentioned before, the experiences that we can go through in life, trauma, parents divorcing, fighting, any sort of like aggressive behavior or just scary things as we're a kid, as we disconnect, right? Or disassociate. Your current reality is so scary that your soul or your inner child, whoever you want to think about it, literally just kind of jumps out. So you are disconnected from your current reality. Addictions keep this disconnect. They keep you from connecting. They keep you connecting from yourself, from your body, from your intelligence. They keep you from connecting to your higher self, God, source, creation, whatever you want to call it. Addictive behaviors and disassociation keep you disconnected. Now, I'm going to get into how we can reconnect, because that's the key, is to connect again. But the reason why I think a lot of us have such a hard time with it is because connection is scary. Being connected is so scary. The reason why we addict, why we have addictive behaviors, why we disconnect, why we disassociate, is because we are escaping pain or trauma or fear, doubt, anger, rage. We're escaping something. So we don't want to feel. Addiction numbs. It medicates. It doesn't heal or fix. It medicates, right? With addictive behaviors, you're basically telling yourself that it is bad to feel and it's good to escape. At least for me, these are things that I've been working on. It's like, oh my God, I have a lot of addictive behaviors that I didn't even know were addictive behaviors until I stopped and caught myself. But it's because I was escaping my current reality. I was escaping my fear, my grief, expressing my feelings in general, even running from my creativity, expressing my creativity, because to me it's emotionally vulnerable. So there was a scary emotional feeling to that I didn't want to feel. So I would rather numb and dull my senses rather than feel what's really there. And so the key, I feel, and what I've been kind of delving into myself, to healing the inner child wounds, the one who might be running the show, and to heal addictive behaviors, is to connect again. And for me, I really think it's connecting to the inner child again. And that's scary because there might be a lot of pain there. There might be some grief. There might be some unexpressed anger, rage, just emotions in general that we may have not have learned how to cope with or actually express healthily. So we have to learn to express ourselves in a compassionate and safe space. Now, however you can do this, you can do it with a teacher, with a mentor, with a therapist, with a friend, a family member, a loved one, whomever, as long as you can find or give yourself that space to express yourself and really express some of the scary things that are inside of you. For me, it was really expressing myself that I'm afraid of connection itself because I've had so many things taken away from me, right? My parents split when I was 3. I was a very sensitive kid. Still am a very sensitive person. But as a kid, it was amplified, right? 3 years old, you're just a ball of sponge. You're just a spongy little ball of energy and love and joy. And when your entire reality has a rift within it, that can set you, it set me like, I didn't know what was real anymore. And so I've learned that I'm afraid of connection itself because I associate it with loss. So I'm having to heal my lost wounds, right? Any wounds that have to do with loss of myself, loss of a lover, loss of a friend, loss of family. And then by healing those, by facing the harder and scarier emotions, and feeling the things that I was trying to disconnect from, feeling the fear, feeling the doubt, feeling, the self-worthlessness or whatever might have come, I've slowly been able to integrate and connect to my inner child again and really connect to him. Not just do the things that he likes, drawing, singing, dancing, playing. Those are all great. But now I'm connecting to his feelings, to my soul, to the things that I care about, to the things that hurt me, that cut me deep. And as I can do that, I can now connect deeper with my loved ones, with my family, with my girlfriend, with her kids, with, the people in my life, because I'm connecting to my scary feelings. I'm connecting to honestly source, creation, God, spirit, whatever you want to call it. So by slowly and gently experiencing the scary things that I didn't want to look at or go into, my grief, sadness, fear, I've been able to express myself as that inner child in a safe and healthy way. With my girlfriend, she helps me cry. She'll help me express things, to grieve. Same with some of my friends or something. I'm been able to find a support system that allows me to share these emotions so that I can feel them. So I'm no longer disassociating from them. I'm no longer trying to run from my fear, my self-doubt, my loss. I'm trying to face it and to integrate it, to be as one with it, being one with my inner child and feeling him, healing myself, loving myself now. So to heal and to change who is running the show, we have to feel safe enough to connect with ourselves. And then I feel once we can connect to ourselves, once we can connect to the wounded parts of ourselves and really bring them in and no longer disassociate and engage in addictive behaviors, that's when we can really connect to creation again, connect to source, higher power, your higher self. And that is when you can start acting and behaving from your guided self, your higher self, your more learned and experienced self, right? Because we all have that. We all have a subconscious part of ourselves that has the experience. We've gone through the experience, but sometimes we get trapped in our timeline. We get trapped as that kid. And so we act subconsciously from the wounded 6-year-old, from the wounded 13-year-old, from the wounded, 17-year-old. Right? And so we might make dumb decisions. That's where self-sabotage comes in. Self-neglect. We might not take care of ourselves as well. We ignore our own well-being, our friends, our family. But it's because we're caught in kind of that inner child, that kid who was hurt. And so we have to bring him closer to us, the person who is here, right? Whatever age you may be. So like for me, example, I turned 30 this year. So I'm attempting to bring my 13-year-old, 17-year-old self, I'm trying to bring him along and heal him and help him mature a little bit until we can meet and I can be the higher version of myself. I can be the higher self. I can be my loving mentor, big brother, dad-like figure to myself so that I can make the best decisions for the future. Rather than the disassociated and addictive behavior of trying to escape, I'm no longer escaping. I can't think of the word, but I'm now creating, right? I'm now expressing, right? I'm now trying to move forward as a guided figure. So ask yourself that question: who is running the show? Who is calling the shots right now? Is it a higher guided self? Is it your mature self? Is it your learned self, your wise self, your creative self, your courageous self? Or is it your scared self? Is it your worried self, your fearful self, your hurt self, your lost self? Delve in, learn to see who you really are, who's really running the show right now, and then slowly start to heal that. Slowly start to heal those lost parts of yourself and no longer disassociate and separate and disconnect, but slowly start to connect again, right? And find solace, love, joy, peace, connection, source, whatever you want to call it. Slowly come back to yourself. Slowly come into your guided self, your higher self. Care for yourself again. So give yourself time. It takes energy. It takes effort. Slowly, slow and sure, right? Space, support systems, anything that you have that can help you really kind of silence the fears and the doubts, and slowly start to really connect to that scary parts of yourself, because that's where the joy is. Because we do that, right? Yeah, yes, disconnecting may protect us from pain. But it also keeps us from the good stuff too. It keeps us from joy, excitement, love, great sex with our lovers. It keeps us from experiencing the good side of our existence as well. So in the past, it may have protected us from pain, But now as adults and as healers and spiritual people, it's keeping us from experiencing the greatness of life too. So give yourself time, compassion. Ask yourself this question: Who's guiding the show? Who's running the show right now? I hope you guys are doing well. This is just something that came to me as I was driving to work today, honestly, and it's something that I've been trying to help in myself as well. I'm really trying to heal and connect to myself and the world around me, and no longer running and numbing. And it hurts. I'm definitely more sensitive right now. As you can see, I'm a little tired and a little wiped out, especially from the eclipse. But I'm learning to find solace in that, and I'm learning to find health and silence in that. So love yourselves, take care of yourselves. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment. If you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe, whatever you'd like to do. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you, everybody. Love you guys. Bye.